Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to another video from T.W White Sons Mazda. Here we have today a Mazda6 taken in part exchange a couple of days ago. Now this is the 2.5 petrol GT Sport Nav Plus, presented in soul red crystal with the stone leather interior. So this is standard GT spec, which is very, very well equipped with the stone leather interior rather than the brown nappa interior. I must say I am a fan of the lighter coloured interiors. I think it breaks it up really well and it's a superb colour combination. Now, as with all our videos, we like to tell you the background of the vehicles, where they've come from, etc, etc. This car belonged to a long-standing customer of ours. I've known for 11 years now. He loves the Mazda6. He picked up a Mazda6 in the same colour, but with the brown leather. Not to his choosing, but that was all that was available, so I think he's going to learn to love it. I'll go through the specs of these cars when we get inside. They are incredibly well spec'd. And the 2.5 engine, it's 194 horsepower, so it's got a little bit more poke, which helps with the automatic transmission, but it's also extremely fuel efficient with features like cylinder deactivation when the car is coasting on the motorway, to add to the fuel efficiency. So very efficient car. Now this has done 16,000 and something miles. It's got full service history with us, as I say, bought from ourselves, I think previous owner. And by the way, if you're watching this video, thanks for the car. I think he's, since I've known him, always had red Mazda 6s, I believe. Now the wheels are superb. Look, not a mark. Now that's because I had two professionally refurbished, and the other two were unmarked. Yeah, the paintwork is beautiful. There is no obvious marks, certainly no dents. I'm sure you might find a very fine scratch, but nothing that my valeter won't take care of when he valets the car. Now the boot, I must apologise in advance, hasn't been valeted, because when this car had a few bits and pieces in, we've only just taken out. I don't know why my valeter didn't take them out, but this is an enormous boot. It's got a few crumbs there, and the seats do fold down with these little clever levers. It's an enormous boot. Look at that, enormous. So airport runs be fine. You could put the seats down for even more room, but you know, unless you had a dog or you want to carry around fridge freezers, etc., which this day and age are much easier getting delivered, I'd say that boot would suffice for me. The Mazda 6 comes in Estate and Saloon. They did away with the hatchback back in 2012, I think. Okay, look at this. Look at this space in the back here. Oh, the car has locked itself. Oh, I had a slight panic there. Look at that interior. Look at the legroom. Look how deep that rear seat is. Look at it. Absolutely beautiful. You've got the black headlining, which is part of the GT spec. You've got the map holders here. You've got this plastic back here. This chrome trim here. I know that sounds really trivial, like talking about chrome trims, but it really does add to the quality of this car. And if you haven't driven or sat in one of the new generation of Mazdas, I urge you to do so. We get lots of cars part exchange here which we retail that are non-Mazda, a lot of the very traditional premium brands, and come and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I would say these cars are better quality than those traditional branded cars. Now look, you've got heated seats in the rear, cup holders, USBs, very important these days. These back seats do not look like they've been sat in. You've got ISOFIX anchorages for the back should you have young children. You've got the vents at the back. Beautiful white door insert. Sunroof as well. You've got electric front seats. The memory on the driver's seat. But look, it's clearly only ever sort of been it's been predominantly used with one person in the car, just the driver. Automatic 6-speed transmission, and lots of spec which we'll go through up here. You've got the Bose premium sound system. Everything's just beautifully put together. So let's hop in the vehicle and take it from there. Okay. The key's in my pocket. Now, did you notice as I walked away from the car locked itself? The key's in my back pocket. This car has a feature called walk-away lock, so it's a part of the smart keyless entry system, which means you can get into the car, step away from the car without having to get the key out, and the car will lock itself and unlock. So let's start the car up. Foot on the brake, press this button here. Car fires into life. Probably the first thing you'll notice is the heads-up display. Now that's flickering, but it's not flickering. It's flickering. Oh, apologise. It's flickering in my camera vision. Because my camera's resolution just isn't good enough. But that will display like speed, basic sat nav functions, warnings, speed limits, etc. So very, very useful, and it does adjust, and you can set it to the memory off your driver's seat. Okay. You've got this, in fact, I'm going to turn it off. You've got this lovely sort of backlit dash, which you only now get on the sort of Mazda 3 CX-30s, but on the GT range of the 6.5 and Mazda 6, they started using these dashes, and look how it all lights up. Yeah, beautiful. Now look at this, 16,312 miles. Absolutely superb service history. And whilst we're on the subject of history of mileage, here we go. PDI, 18th of March at 2 miles. Then March the following year, 6689 miles, a service. March the following year, 9713 miles, so barely any miles between those two services. The car had its MOT just earlier this month. The gentleman already had his car on order, so we MOT'd it for him, but we're just due to do the service, which shall be done. So it's got a full and complete service history from T.W White Sons Mazda here at Orpington. So this car is very, very well known to us, and it's always nice to have a car that you know the history of. And I think for the next keeper, the next owner, it's a good bit of information to have. Okay, let's have a look here. So, we've got electric folding wing mirrors, okay? Now these have got blind spot monitoring, so there's little lights here and here. So when someone overtakes you and undertakes you, it'll warn you, it'll bleep. Say, look, someone's coming from your outside, just be careful, don't pull out. A very useful thing to have. Car's got lane departure warning, so if you were to veer out of a lane without indicating, the car will also warn you. Very, very useful thing to have. You've also got cruise control, but not just everyday cruise control, radar cruise control, or adaptive cruise control, as some manufacturers call it. So you set your speed, you're cruising along. If the car in front slows down, so it's slower than the speed you're traveling, your car's radar will pick it up. The radar lives in the Mazda logo. On the grille, it will pick it up and your car will slow down to that speed, so you never have to keep adjusting the cruise control. And that's the problem on UK roads, I would say. You know, too much traffic on the roads, even on the motorways, so traditional cruise control isn't really that practical. Okay. You've got climate control, air conditioning, you've got air conditioned seats. Look at that, air conditioned seats and heated seats. All right. And that's independent of the front too. And you've got a heated steering wheel. So all really great things. Can't wait for the summer for those heated seats, cooled seats. CD player here. You've got a 6-speed gearbox. Now this is a modern gearbox in terms of its 6-speed. It's quick changing. It's reliable. We've never had one go wrong. Yet it's traditional in the sense of it's seamless gear changes, and it doesn't roll back on hills. Because I have lots of people asking, is this a proper automatic gearbox? Now the definition of that is obviously, you know, there's a few definitions of what's a proper automatic gearbox, but it's proper in terms of it's traditional, but it's also got the benefits of a modern gearbox, i.e. it's got more than 3 gears like the older ones did. Okay, and it's seamless, smooth, which all helps with the fuel consumption. Here you got your handbrake or finger brake. Okay, multimedia commander, or human interface as I like to call it, which will control this here, which is your radio, which is your apps, sat nav settings. So let's start on the application side. So you've got a fuel economy monitor. Now I just reset this, okay, but it will give you your MPG. Right, now don't be put off by this being a 2.5. It's a very efficient engine, and it's got something called IE loop. So basically this car is a mild hybrid vehicle, which means when you're slowing down, now you see this here, this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little blocks here, right? This is a capacitor, so when you're slowing down, this will charge up. So that energy that's been wasted by you slowing down will charge that capacitor, and that will run all the electrics in the vehicle. Okay, therefore there is less strain on the engine producing electricity for the battery, for the alternator. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. It's also got iStop. So what iStop does, it's an intelligent engine stop start. So should you be stationary, I don't know, in traffic for example, the engine will cut out, thus saving fuel, better on the environment, and saving you money. And with current fuel prices, I think that's very important. Okay, so we've got that there. Status monitor would have, you know, if you've got a flat tire or you're running out of fuel. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Don't think this car hasn't got these because they're greyed out. It doesn't mean that at all. To operate these, you have to plug your phone cable in. Just here to the USB at the top that's got the little symbol of a smartphone. Okay, so apps we've covered. Now with those Android Auto and CarPlay, it means you can operate your apps, and you can view them here instead of just on your phone. The car has FM, AM, your FM, AM and DAB. I suppose that's a traditional source now. For those of you who aren't familiar with DAB, I think most of you probably are, you get a huge selection of radio stations, you know, and you'll get things like Magic, chilled Magic, or Magic 80s, 70s, and absolute 80s, 70s, more sort of genre specific channels. I dare say it, I would say there's something for everyone on here, for anyone all around the world, any sort of genre of music or topic. There's something on there for everyone. Certainly keeps me entertained. Okay, now AHA Stitcher are internet apps. I've never used them, I must be honest. I don't really know anyone that has, but they're apps you can get on your phone, and it's a form of music. Then you can, once your phone is paired up via the Bluetooth, you can stream anything from your phone. That tends to be what I do, because I like to listen to YouTube bits and pieces and listen to it through the pictures on the way to work, just to get me through the traffic, the morning traffic. And you've got USB 1 and 2 that you can read information of. So communication, I say, once the phone's paired up, you can access your phone book, your call list, dial call, missed calls, etc. The nav, now should you decide not to use the CarPlay's app, so for example you could access Google Maps or Waze, I know there's lots of others. The car has a very comprehensive sat nav. Yeah, find address, put your postcode in, and off you go. All right, and if you're en route, and for example, the one I use the most is fuel station. I often go and collect vehicles, areas that I'm, you know, not familiar with, they don't have fuel. I can find the fuel station's name, the direction here, okay, and the distance. And if you do connect your phone to the your car to the internet from your phone, which you can do via a Wi-Fi hotspot, we can show you how to do this. It's dead easy. It uses a minuscule amount of data, and it will also have fuel prices, and that is super important, I think, at the moment. I do see a lot of variation of fuel prices between petrol stations. Okay, so we've covered that there. Okay, moving on. Now, the settings. Now, this car has a lot of settings, reason being it's got a lot of spec. So remember the heads-up display? There you go. Okay, you can adjust that there. And then you've got like brightness control and rotation, etc, etc. Okay, so I can't go through every single feature because it will be here for a long time. Then you've got display settings. You can turn this off, turn it off, show the clock, etc. Safety settings. You've got distance recognition support system, which is part of the radar cruise control. Okay, you can change the settings there. It'll also warn you if you get too close to the car in front. It will come up and say brake. Okay. Got smart city braking. So if you're, for example, doing under 20 miles an hour, I'll give you a scenario. You're in traffic, stop, start, stop, start. You get distracted, you look out the window, your car's rolling, gets too close to the car, object, person in front, it will apply the brakes, okay? And also, if you're driving along, you get too close to the car in front, it will come up, brake, 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 and it will come up on the screen here, all right? And you can adjust the sensitivity. Great thing about these things, they're recognised by insurance companies. Statistically, a lot of accidents happen in that scenario. Therefore, if this will help reduce that, it will lower the insurance grouping, which it has, and it should reflect in your premium. Blind spot monitoring, I kind of explained that earlier, in the wing mirrors. Lane keep assist system. This car will keep you in lane. So say you're driving down the motorway, you got your hands on the steering wheel, you'll feel resistance in the wheel, like so, and it will be keeping you within the white lines. Okay, really good for those long distances. Now, I'm not saying you do this, but if you let your hands off the steering wheel, just to give you an example, the car, if it is out of a lane, it will correct you twice. Then it will come up and say, hold the steering wheel. So I suppose it's one of the first steps to driverless cars, perhaps. I don't know, but that's a useful system. Traffic sign recognition system, and also the car will monitor your facial expressions, providing this is ticked. And this is really spooky, but you will get a warning to take a break should you feel a bit tired, and it really does work. It's spooky. It's like you'll think, oh, better go and stop now. You know, I'll have to stop for a coffee or use the facilities. It'll come up, take a break. You think, how did they know that? How did they know I was thinking about that? And you've got a 360-degree camera on this car. So you've got a 360 camera. So you've got reverse, side and front. Yeah. So no excuses for bad parking or not getting into those tight parking spaces. Okay. You've got an amazing sound system. It's Bose. You notice the little labels there. It's Bose. It's truly amazing. Bring your favourite CD. That might sound a bit old-fashioned. Or we can stream your favourite song and you can listen to it and turn the volume up. Okay, so sounds amazing. Clock. It's GPS synced. We don't need to talk about it anymore. That's the most accurate clock setting you'll get. You've got some nice settings here, useful ones. Remember I mentioned the door locking, so walk away lock, yeah, okay. The car locks also when you move away. You've got turn settings there, so your flasher. Lighting, I like these settings. So you've got like adaptive lights, right? They're amazing, they should always be on. The best way to describe this, you've got LED lights. Your car will turn, the lights will turn as you turn. Okay, they've got high beam control, all right? So you've got your high beam on, you're going down a country lane, you've lit up the lane. Someone comes the other way, it will dip your lights, but it will dip your lights, not entirely, but enough not to blind the oncoming traffic and not to impair your vision. But the best way I can explain these lights to you are you can see more at night with these lights on an unlit road than you can in the day, if that makes sense. You've got coming home lights, leaving home lights. So when you lock the car at night, the lights will stay on for 30 seconds. That'll give you safe passage to your front door, for example. And leaving home lights. If you unlock the car, lights stay on until you get in the vehicle. All right. So really good stuff. You got paddle shifts on the steering wheel. It's wonderfully well spec'd. Now, if you have watched any of my previous videos, you'll know I'm not lying. These are my favourite car in the range, the Mazda 6. I've always been a fan. I think they are a superb, like, executive car, and they don't look like a rep mobile. And when I first started driving them, I was in my 20s, and my friends were always very impressed by them. They're really well spec'd. But this is, honestly, if you have a look at some premium branded cars that we've got on our forecourt and you get in this feels better quality. It really does. The materials used, the way it's put together, the spec is incredible. Okay. Now, if you'd like any more specific photos or videos of this car, please do not hesitate to ask. It's no bother, really. And try us at any time of day. If it's outside normal working hours, leave us a voicemail or drop us an email and we'll try to come back to you. Okay. Part exchange is extremely welcome, even if you don't have a Mazda or Suzuki. As mentioned before, we do retail other brands. I know there's a lot of advertising out there. Put your reg number in and get a valuation in seconds and make it so easy and get a better deal, etc., etc. You will get the best deal with us at T.W White Sons with a part exchange. We want your part exchange. So do all that research. As I say, it's dead easy to do. Get an idea of what your car's worth and then get in touch. We really do want your part exchange. We have great finance facilities. The car will come with a year's Mazda ZZ Plus warranty, which is a follow-on warranty, the manufacturer's warranty. So not a silly warranty that you get at places where it's so difficult to claim. There's so many hoops to jump through, and the claim limit's like 250 quid. What are you going to get covered with 250 quid? Okay, so it's worth the paper it's printed on, as they say, and it's got roadside assistance for 12 months, comprehensive. So if you break down at home, you can call them out. If you break down in Europe, you can call them out. If you've lent the car to someone else, it's the car that's covered. Okay, so you've got great backup there. Hopefully you won't have any bother, but you could get a flat tire or run out of petrol. So we've covered warranty, we've covered part exchange, we've covered finance. We've got a delivery service within a 100-mile radius. If you're out of that, give us a call. Let's see what we can do. I think the last one of these we had a white one, ended up going to Stewarton or somewhere like that, which was in Scotland. Okay, so yeah, we sell cars all around the country. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope it's been informative. I know it's almost 23 minutes long, so I hope you haven't got bored, but we look forward to hearing from you. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.